Hello and welcome to the Frontington and Backwoods Railway. Now, if you've been following my recent videos, you'll know that earlier this year I moved house, and I spent the last few months building and preparing a lovely big shed, ready for my layout to move into. Well, the time has finally come. First of all, I need to build a new frame for the layout to sit on. The one I had before was a bit flimsy and didn't survive the move, so this is a good excuse to build a new one. I used Tinkercad to design it, and colour-coded all the pieces by length, and then got AI to work out the optimal arrangement of those pieces on some 4.8 metre lengths of 3x2 timber. Very clever. Armed with that information, and having labelled all my wood, I could then measure and cut the right lengths from the right pieces, knowing I wasn't going to be wasting any. I wasn't sure whether you'd want to hear about the screws. And then I thought, screw it, let's talk about screws. So I decided to invest in some decent screws this time, rather than just the cheapest I could find. These are Optimax wood screws. Other brands are available, but these have special tips that are better at carving out a hole for themselves, so they bite into the wood much more easily. They also have these funky little grooves in the head to help them dig their own countersink. And they have been brilliant. Now, I know it's only a little thing, but it's a significant improvement over normal wood screws. So I'm really glad I bought them. Next, I moved into the shed to fit the top to the legs. Oh, yes, I've made some legs as well. But because of the dimensions of the wood, I didn't have any screws long enough to go all the way through the 3x2 and sufficiently into the leg, so I drilled a few holes and used dowels and glue instead, and that seems to have worked pretty well. While the boards are separated, it seemed like a good time to give the track a good clean, while I can easily reach it all. I'm using a bottle of Track Magic, applying it with the supplied foam applicator. I can't test its effectiveness yet because the track isn't connected up to anything, but I'm pretty sure it worked well before. My biggest complaint though is that the foam applicator catches on everything. Point blades, frogs, sleepers, ballast. It all just rips it to shred and leaves bits everywhere. Fortunately, it's bright orange, so it's easy to see, and it hoovers up well enough. Still, if you have a better way of applying it, let me know in the comments. With the frame in place, I figured it would be a good time to fit the back scenes. These are thin sheets of plywood that I painted, and like last time, I'm screwing them to the frame. It was at this point I realised I'd got the back scenes the wrong way round, and the tree line didn't match up. I did ponder for a moment about whether I could just paint over the gap to make it work, but eventually decided it would just be easier to remove and refit the boards in the right order. And now I can place the layout on top of the frame. I positioned them roughly to begin with, just to make sure everything was going to line up and none of the wires would get caught. And then I had a rethink, and attached the back scene boards to the wall instead of the frame. Not sure why I didn't do that to begin with, really. Then it was just a case of putting the boards back in place and bolting them all together tightly. And thankfully, all the track lined up nicely. Or as nicely as it was before, which is passable. I also put the hillside back in place. And that's a phrase that makes absolutely no sense outside of the world of modelling. Okay, time to assess the situation. There are lots of little things that now need fixing. Joins that need patching and disguising. Buildings that need rewiring. Chasms that need filling. Servos that need reinstalling. Wiring that needs reconnecting. Trees that need to be stood upright. I pottered around with a few things, but eventually decided I really needed to see if I could get trains running again. I've really missed that. Now, there is a lot of wiring under here that needs sorting out. None of the signals or points work yet, but I did manage to hook up the DCC bus to my Arduino and the computer. It's not pretty or permanent, but it looks like it might be working. And since I'm still missing some track, I've added some buffers to stop anything inadvertently plunging into the abyss. Right. Let's see if this will work. Maybe it needs a helping hand? Nope. Okay. Oh, hang on. Maybe I just need to clean the track some more. Hold that thought while I grab a track rubber. Okay, take two. Oh, that's more like it. Oh, I cannot tell you how good it feels to have something running again. It's been nearly 8 months since I last played trains, so seeing this little loco running around is just wonderful. So where do we go from here? Well, as I say, there are lots of little things that need fixing, but that's pretty boring, so I probably won't film much of that. I do need to build some new boards for the non-scenic bit of track that completes the loop, and I'll need a new fiddle yard. And there's lots of general sorting to do and finding new homes for things. I'm also working on plans to extend the track around to the other side of the shed, which will be exciting, so tune in next time for more details on that. But that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.